Hello and welcome to Soul's Compass Healing. My name is Brianne Lazinski, and if you have not already, please hit the subscribe button. I'd love to hear from you in the comments as well. I'm an evolutionary astrologer, and today I will be speaking about the Virgo full moon total lunar eclipse happening on March 13th, 14th. And in this video, I am going to be talking a little bit about some psychodynamics. And my purpose for doing this is because it's something that I'm seeing and observing by and large on the collective scale. So this is not a this is not a personal reading. I do those. They are available through my website. The link is in the description of this video. And you are also more than welcome to send me a donation if you find the work that I put out here for free helpful to you. And I would greatly appreciate it. Can't help but notice that Neptune, the ruler of our lunar north node, is at the last degree of Pisces. So, sensitive souls are feeling the weight of the world, Saturn balsamic to Neptune, on their shoulders. This is representative of the collective unconsciousness rearing its ugly head. What we are seeing playing out on the collective grand stage of life is the messiness, everything that is unresolved, which is beyond what the human mind can even comprehend for humanity here on Earth. It is very much so coming up to the surface, bubbling up in a way that we would be doing ourselves a grave disservice to continue to be in denial of reality. And it's with this full moon in Virgo, this is where reality hits, okay? This is where we understand, and I'm going to back up into this by starting to explain some psychodynamics that I find very pertinent for us to understand right now. I've been talking about in the last few videos, and I think titled the last one like bubbles bursting or something like that, right? When disillusionment strikes and we have that experience of being shaken from something that was a false reality, a fantasy, an illusion, that is an experience that is painful because it calls us to actually be present to what is. And I don't know if y'all have noticed, but the vast majority of people do not have the capacity to do that. And I'm not here to try to preach to change that. I know that that's just not even possible. However, I do want to illuminate some of what is going on there, okay? People don't like their bubbles bursted. Why? Because the delusion that they are working so hard to maintain, that they will do things that could be harmful to others, harmful to themselves in order to maintain that delusion, they are doing so to keep from feeling pain of the reality of something that happened to them that they cannot face. And so this is where I have a lot of compassion for folks who maintain their delusions and are extremely harmful to others. And at the same breath, that does not mean that I stand for taking their bullshit either. And I encourage y'all to do the same, okay? Because what happens more often than not is that those who point out delusions, or those who point out evil occurring, those who point out ulterior motives, are the ones who get persecuted. It's not, now I'm kind of speaking more in the collective sense of what we are seeing. People who hold societal positions of power, right? They will deny to their grave, more often than not, that anything that they do is wrong, bad, evil, whatever label you wish to put on it. And their power is used to excuse their violent behavior and maintain their position so that they can stay perpetuating violence as well as profiting off of the pain and suffering of entire populations. So this is the reality that, collectively speaking, we are being shaken to wake up to right now. And it boggles my mind because literally just the other day, I was having a brief encounter with an acquaintance. She asked me how I was, and I said, I'm very tired. And she responded with ascension symptoms. And I said, no. And this is what I'm speaking to, okay? This delusion that looking at what is going on in the world right now, is this really like your first thing, your first conclusion is that we're all ascending? That's completely delusional. And I understand why, right? It's people wanting to maintain some sort of sense of security, even if it is false, because reality is too much to handle, right? So I have compassion for that bit. But as I am speaking to my audience, I want to say to you, there is no quick fix. Okay? Like, this is history repeating itself now on an unprecedented scale because of the current technology and the issue of globalization that we have at this time. And this is the complexity and the messiness of our human species. People want to skip over the pain of a crucifixion in order to be ascended, right? People don't realize that Jesus was crucified before he was resurrected and went home to God. And so I think it's worth talking to the wider, grander scheme of life, the nature of life, and how it works, so that we can do all of ourselves a favor and step up and out of delusions and into reality, okay? So cancel out mass ascension. That is not going to happen. Here's how reality works in plain and simple Coles Notes versions, of course. We have to go through the process of evolution and going through experiences in order to clear karma, which is a word that is very misunderstood, and I'm not going to get into all of that today. But each of us has an individual soul. Together we make up the collective, right? The collective unconscious. And when we go through the experiences that we have gone through, reincarnation after reincarnation after reincarnation, the reason why we go through these repetitive cycles is to evolve, is to clear the karma. And that has no easy hop, skip, jump over type of fix it, ascend, this is my last lifetime bullshit. That's not the process. And so it means that each and every one of us requires a humbling enough to see our own stuff, our own why we are here, our own evolutionary tasks, our own karma that we're here to work out. And I'm saying to you that evolutionary astrology is the way to objectively see this, observe it. And so this is what I do in my work with folks, is I work one-on-one with people in order to illuminate their evolutionary journey so that they are validated in who they are and the journey that they are on, so that they can actually walk it in reality. Because folks, what we are in denial of, what we suppress, runs us. It'll come out in all sorts of ways that is extremely unhealthy, harmful to ourselves, harmful to those around us. And so this is Virgo stepping up and doing the work that is on our plate for the collective, right? No longer denying it. And nobody said it's easy. It's not. That is why I'm so passionate about continuing with Soul's Compass healing, is because I see the need for people to have support in this, because I see the collective needs this right now. And I get emotional about it because yeah, for many different reasons, but I get emotional about it because it is so necessary for us right now. And there are so many people who are really not feeling held, you know, really not feeling support in the wider world, really feeling unsafe. And so if you are somebody who is willing to look at your healing path, your torch to carry in all of this, awesome. Congratulations and thank you. Thank you for your service to humanity. We need you. Sincerely, we do. You know, there's a mental health crisis right now because we are in a mental and emotional abuse epidemic. It's really that simple. You know, if you look at how people are treated interpersonally, and then how that is reflected on the macro scale of the collective and what is going on, we are clearly playing out abusive dynamics with one another in how we relate. And so there is massive significance of Venus and Mercury both going retrograde this month of March throughout the eclipse season. They will be entering back into Pisces. And really what we can be feeling here is at this moment in time, when we have Mercury and Venus both in Aries, we can all be feeling this in very different ways, but what I will speak to is on the collective level, there is this conditioning that we have around individuality that is very distorted. And it limits each and every one of us unless we know what's going on and we liberate ourselves, right? And so this can be a time of major, major, major cycles of evolution that are coming to an end in our life as reality strikes, and then the birthing of new cycles, right? This is like a yeah, there's just such a painful, I guess, an opportunity or a potential for painful realizations that can change the trajectory of our life, right? This is like course correction. We got to realize who is steering our ship, right? This is Venus and Mercury right now in the sign of Aries is ruled by Mars in Cancer, stationed square to Chiron. This is what I'm speaking to right now. These painful realizations, course correction time, trying to figure out what ship are we on, who's sailing that ship, right? And this can be in terms of ourselves, or parts of ourselves, you know, who's in the driver's seat of our life, in terms of parts of ourselves, and also if we're on somebody else's ship because we are still needing to close out the high level of codependency in our culture that is the preferred quote-unquote love that we see promoted by the status quo, right? Is that we lose ourselves to our partner, the other half, right? All of this language. And now there can be an opportunity this month to, if you are somebody who has the ability to critically think and question things, to be questioning, okay, I am going to orient to emotional safety. I am going to orient to places and people whom I can be my authentic self with, right? And the reason why it is so important that each and every one of us goes through this process right now, if we haven't already, is that the collective obviously needs us to individuate and to be our own unique self so that we can step up and lend a hand and support one another in what we are about to go through, right? It can feel like, you know, when you go swimming and you swim down and you swim to deeper water, how the weight of the water pressurizes onto you, and it like, yeah, you can just feel that pressure on your skin. That's what the month of March will likely progressively feel like. And I really want to say that a lot can be unraveled, a lot can come up from seemingly nowhere. And I want to highlight the fact that it is coming up from the depths of the collective unconscious. And so it can be confusing. There can be potential shocks and surprises and unexpected events. There can be relive or repeat scenarios, right? There can be people from past lives or from our past coming back up and wanting some sort of, something. And this is all going to be taking place for the purpose of bringing those loose ends to a close, so that we can initiate a new direction, so that our course correction is on point with what we desire. So this can be a big clear out. And I want to end this video by talking to the fact that I was chatting with a friend the other day, and they were like, yeah, I just don't even know how the world got to this place that we're in right now. Like, aren't there checks and balances in place to keep this from happening? And my response is, we are the checks and balances, okay? We have been deceived into believing that we do not have power. Jupiter is forming a square to the lunar north node, and this is one of the things that I think is bubbling up to the surface. When it seems like all hell is broken loose, when it seems like the floodgates have gone and it's too far for anyone to do anything, this is a huge wake-up call for us to remember that each and every one of us has power. And it's going to take each and every one of us stepping up in our own power in our own unique and individual way in order to course correct the collective at this time. And so this is a big eclipse season, folks. I hope that you are taking care of yourselves and your loved ones, and I will speak with you in a couple weeks' time regarding the solar eclipse that we have coming up. Thanks for listening.